Okay, so this is a drawing of Moana. Check it out. I'm just gonna leave this background on lock for the Mo. I have this layer on multiply, and I'm going to try my utmost to do this with as few brushes as possible. Let's see, brush am I gonna choose? Something good. It's gotta be good. It's gotta be interesting. It's gotta be diverse. My goodness, why did I download so many of these? Let's see. Tell you what, I'm gonna jump around a little bit. How about hard, round, and pressure size? Let's give that a try, huh? Shall we? Okay, here we go. Alright, so let's pick out some medium color here, and we will begin our artwork. That's maybe what it's going to look like. Let's see if I can find some lighter, less intense version. Let's go with this one. Alright. And here we go. I'm just going to pretty much outline everything. And this way, I'm not going to worry about what happens in the middle, because I'm just going to do one of the Photoshop tricks where you just select everything, because previously on the show I have shown a very amateur way of coloring things in. I mean, that's one way to do it. There's nothing wrong. It's just that it was taking forever, and I just knew there was a better way to do it, and I hadn't seen anyone do it just yet. And so here we go. Let's see. Outlining. So Moana. Why am I drawing and coloring Moana? Great question. My little boy and Disney Plus, and that's pretty much it, right? Moana, actually, I mean, you can't not gain a taste for things after you watch it for as many times as we have, and I would say I have gained a taste for Moana, the music, the animation, for sure, is just totally delightful. Some of the most realistic backgrounds Disney has ever done, which is super fun. Let's see. I'm going to rotate this. One of the best things to have is a hotkey program to rotate. Yeah, let's see how this goes. So, what do I like about Moana? The call that she feels inside to go and explore, to be a pioneer, that resonates a lot. You know, it's something that resonated in the preview of the movie Interstellar, one of my faves, and it is just quite a concept to think, you know, for the longest time we've been pioneers, and there was a good chunk of time where we sort of stopped being pioneers because we couldn't imagine going to the moon. You know, I mean, it was just unthinkable, and the rest of the world had been pretty much discovered. And yes, we have deep sea discoveries because there's lots of things, lots of space. There's more space under the sea we have not mapped than we have mapped of the moon. We've mapped the moon more than the deep, dark sea. But anyway, yeah, this idea of being unhelpably called to go explore is just such a fun concept. Totally approve of that. I think that's awesome. Moana is definitely not my favorite of characters in the world of animation and or even Disney, but we definitely gain a lot by practicing whatever kind of art we do. So I drew this pencil on paper in one sitting, and usually when I get into the zone, as they say, which I found out the psychological term is flow state. Once we're in flow state, we it's sometimes a good thing because you're totally in the mood to do it, and it's a great way to accomplish work. However, it's incredibly distracting when there's other things going on, right? You get into this mode because you love it, you're passionate about it, and they're flowing away, and other things that might need your attention just sort of disappear off the radar. So, for example, it's been on a few occasions now that we put my little boy to bed quite a bit later than he needed to be put to bed, although he was absolutely thrilled with that. So winning points as a parent with a 3-year-old for putting him to bed super late, but you know, it's fine. Alright, almost done with my outlining trick I'm doing here. I can't imagine doing this with a mouse. And so the moment you find access to a tablet, Wacom tablet, XP Pen tablet, that's the moment you should kick it into gear and get your art going here. Alright, so I'm going to take this one. What's the name of this brush? I'm sorry, Magic Wand tool, right. Okay, so let's take that. Let's do a plus, a shift. It's always plus. I'm going to right click. And let's feather a smidge. How about 5 pixels? And I'm going to say shift backspace and fill with a foreground color. Let's see if that worked. I'm going to switch over. Easiest way to deselect for me is switching over to another thing like the lasso tool and clicking away. Alright, so that didn't work perfectly well. I want to figure out what the best way is to do this. So I'm going to go to, let's see. Let's see. Oops. Alright, Magic Wand tool, right? Grow. What's grow? No idea what grow is, but I pushed it. Anyway, let's go to, I know there's an expand, edit, expand something, somewhere. Oh, why is this so difficult? You know, the problem is, on a Mac, you could just go here and type in the search and find whatever you're looking for, which is awesome. Oh yeah, under select, this makes sense. Okay, so grow is still there, that option there. I thought there was a way to like expand, just straight up expand. Hey, hello, nice to meet you. How about let's expand it by 7, like so. And then I'm gonna Control Shift backspace. Nope, lies, all lies. No, not delete. How about Alt Shift backspace? No, just Shift backspace and then OK. Let's click away, see if we did it. We did it! Hurrah for us! Ta-da! So surely there's a couple of places that I didn't hit just right. So I'm going to zoom in and make sure I cover those. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. Because once you're here and you're doing your coloring, it is the time to get all of your spaces covered, because you don't have to go back in and recolor things. I think it'd be better to color outside the lines than too far in, just because if you're doing a whole lot of work recoloring stuff with multiple clipping masks, it would be super difficult to try to generate all that same stuff. Alright, so one of the main reasons why I thought I would bring this image into Photoshop is the fact that I didn't get to do her leg down here. I want the leg, right? The foot. I did really great on that foot. I mean, have we not stopped and looked at how well that foot turned out? You can even see some toes in the background there. That's just a good foot. Now, where's she looking? That's one of the questions. It kind of looks like at a distance she's looking at you, which is fun. But when you get a good look at it, you're like, no, there's just like reflection stuff in her eyes. So that's fine. Something that I think makes her look a little too European is the nose. But the lips, I did a little bit of reworking on the lips, and that's something that really, really helped her look more Polynesian than European there. So anyway, it's always a work in progress, which is not too bad. But let's try coloring some more. What do you say? I'm going to go ahead and try to do this full screen and see how far I can get here just by referencing this one. Let's see if I were to do, let's see, Control N. What's that do? Absolutely nothing. Control Shift N. Create new layer. Use previous layer to create clipping mask. Oh, that's a fun way to do it. I don't have to worry about it then. Okay, so let's do that. Let's we got this going. Control Shift N. Use previous layer clipping mask, and then let's do some shading type things, right? Let's get some shade right there. That's good. This shade looks pretty good too. I think I prefer the shade under the calf. So let's give it a whirl, see what happens, right? Oh, right. I do want to make sure I'm on a brush that is not going to murder me. Alright, brush. Let's do a soft pressure size opacity, maybe. I don't like opacity as much. Let's see what this does. Yeah, that's something there. Yeah, maybe we'll do not pressure size, maybe we'll do opacity. Let's try this one. Okay, so where was I? Right, the shading. Let's see how this goes. Alright. Shading here, some shading here, shading right here. There's definitely shading here, 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 here. I'm gonna try to get right there. Try to allow the shading to tell us where the highlights are. The shading is super fun to do some shading. I hope it ends up looking realistic though. I've definitely done some shading in recent work that has lost some realism because of how I shaded it. So I'm gonna work to get my shading on point here, and if it's not working, then we're gonna make some adjustments. Okay. Alright. Shading is happening. I think we're getting somewhere. Starting to look a little depthier. Totally a term that I just made up. Let's see. Get those fingers. How about these fingers, eh? Alright. I do want to make sure the skin gets shaded sufficiently, and I'm afraid that if I were to go overboard on the clothing as I'm adding a little bit of shade here and there, I don't want to zoom in too much, kill you guys, but I do want to make sure I keep things somewhat realistic looking. It's tough. I mean, I don't even know what I'm looking for when I begin a piece of art. I don't have a reference usually. I'm sure references are useful for most people. I just have not gotten into them enough. And when I do, I always feel like I'm cheating. Like I've said before, it really does feel like I'm cheating when I use a reference. So, we're seeing how this looks here. Not super thrilled yet, but that's the story of being an artist. You know, you just struggle till it looks right. Alright, so adding a couple of darker, more sharp lines onto the arm. You know, she is a wayfinder, and so you want to know that she's in the sun, right? I guess she doesn't need to be in the sun necessarily. I mean, nature is all kinds of, but it's super cool to do the shading. Shading is a powerful touch here. It can do good things, it can do bad things, it can make things look more meaningful and certainly meaningless. You know, you really can't get away with these kind of subtle changes without having a wheel that can increase the size of your brush, and also having the pressure sensitive pen. Really being able to draw directly on the screen makes a huge difference. I have definitely used very successfully, having had a pencil drawing, pen drawing skill. I've used Wacom tablets of ancient date that are that do not have screens, but boy, does it make a difference once you get into it with a screen. It's so cool. It's fun, and it makes so much more sense to be able to draw directly on what you're looking at. So, you know, as much as I find the term amusing, that, you know, it doesn't matter what kind of camera you have, the best camera you have is the one that you have with you, etc. And that, you know, a person that invited a photographer over for dinner says, "Hey, you take beautiful photos. What kind of camera do you have?" You know, attributing the credit to the camera, and then the photographer says to him, "Oh, well, you make delicious food. What kind of oven do you have?" You know, obviously, it's, you know, you're poking fun at the way people compare your work to the items that you use, but truthfully, there's some terrible cameras out there. Truthfully, there's some awful versions of paper pencils that you could be using. There are most certainly some lesser pieces of equipment you could be using, and it does make a difference. It's a huge deal sometimes. It's like I'm getting a call from Final Fantasy in the 90s. We're just gonna let him wait a sec, because it's you and me time right now. Okay. Some things, I return to, I go back and forth. I'm taking like a wide view at this. I lean back from looking at it every once in a while, and I try to find an angle on this that looks the best. So I forgot I was going to add another new layer, like so. Yeah, using that clipping mask, and I'm just gonna get this hair all on its own layer. I feel like this is a really good idea. I don't know, I see artists do this thing where they just sort of let things be messy, right? And I have noted in the past that I eventually allowed things to be messy when I moved from just using pencil to using pen when I was younger. If you look at my other videos about my sketchbook tours and the old styles that I did, a lot of it's me going through different nostalgic things and things I was going for, and but you notice the styles that change, and some of my favorite things I've done were absolutely the most messy looking things, and the things that were very good examples of me not worrying too much about what things look like. And that's something I hope to achieve here. I'm hoping to achieve that because it's super duper important to be able to let things go and let things be messy. So we're getting there. We're getting to this point where things are looking a little bit messier than I would normally do. You're tempted because you can do things in precise values, right? You can paint with exact colors. You can do perfectly straight lines down to the shape of the pixel, right? But that's not necessarily good, and it's certainly not the definition of art, which may also just be subjective, that definition as well. Did you hear that noise? That was me getting a text message. Not sure if you could hear that. Because I don't play video games anymore, I still hold on to the nostalgic memory of having played them, and so I changed all my sounds to things that I don't do anymore. Alright, let's see here. Let's dive into something more colorful. I do want to add another layer for clothing, so let's do a clothing layer. And yeah, it's working. Here we go. Let's see. Make sure I'm following the pattern correctly. I don't want to mess this up. Even though I could just go back and do it again, because it's all on its own layer, and it's totally fine. I can't imagine, what this would have been like had I kept drawing all my life instead of, intermittently drawn things and sketched, and allowed my sketches to get better, more improved. Because I feel like it's not bad. It really is not bad as it is right now. But I definitely get the impression that I could have been doing even better with this. And maybe that's in part temptation or like some form of guilt. Oh, you see, I'm noticing my shading disappearing before my eyes here, and I can't let that happen, not lightly anyway. So I'm gonna do some light brushes over this area, try to keep things looking consistent. I'm not pushing on this pen hardly at all. I can tell it's not perfect already, but again, don't worry about being perfect. This is just trying, It's like you do your best. Everything you do your best. Let's see, maybe something a little bit lighter. Maybe something a little darker here. I'm going to try to sketch over top of, brush over top of my shading points. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't, but you gotta try new things. You gotta give it a whirl, Speaking of, I got to recently pick up playing the ukulele. Now, I haven't played an instrument seriously, like attempted to, in many a year. And so, to think I was able to pick up, I got, a song and a half, two songs and a half right now, on the ukulele already. I don't think I was influenced by Moana. I don't think there's a whole lot of ukulele playing. It's more of a Hawaiian thing. But it is really, really cool to be able to play something and hear music come out of something that you are controlling. I have never had this much of a satisfying experience, and it is super duper satisfying. I'm gonna have to go back and try some other things for the highlights. Let's make sure we're getting that face and not ignoring too much up here. Typically I'm afraid to put a whole lot of emphasis on lips, but it's not too bad today. It's coming together. These are happy skin tones, right? A little blush in the face is never a bad thing. Probably on the arm as well. things are starting to come together a little bit here. I'm going to have to jump out to my layers so I make sure I get the hair. I'm going to move the hair. Oh, whoa. Get out of here. Crazy. I'm going to move the hair up here so it's on top. And in this, let's see here. I'm going to have to... I'm going to find what color this was. I'm going to touch up the hair here. And get those brows. Big eyebrows are awesome. They're in right now. I remember seeing the movie The Man in the Iron Mask with Leonardo DiCaprio, and the whole sequel to the Three Musketeers story. And one of the girls in there had these like huge eyebrows, and I thought, wow, that is really neat. You don't see that very often. Kind of refreshing, right? See something different every once in a while. And I always think that when I think period pieces, I'm like, did they really pluck their eyebrows like we are claiming that they did? I don't think that's realistic. Let's see, how's her eyes looking here? I'm looking at my reference just a smidge, something I don't always do, but just for a couple of things. I'm not copying any other thing. I'm actually just looking at another image of this shot on my second monitor, my main monitor, and yeah, I'm getting a little close. When I see pixels, I know I'm doing something wrong. But anyway, yeah, I'm just looking for some things that mean more, right? Like there's a design to Moana, and so someone had done this with an intention, right? There's a meaning behind certain colors. There's a meaning behind a lot of things that these character designers did. Alright, so we're getting a little bit more definition here. Let's pick a pink. Maybe make it a little bit more pinky pink. Or, you know what? While we're picking colors, let me just grab pink right there. And I'm going to add this to those lips. I'm going to keep stealing a couple of colors here so I don't have to go making my own decisions. Since it's already been done, why reinvent the wheel, everybody? I try to talk to people about that everywhere in my career as a filmmaker and everything. I think, why are we doing this, right? Why don't we just all get along? Let me go to this background layer. I'm gonna possibly do a little something here with that background layer. Maybe I'm gonna move this. Oof. I know how to ruin stuff, don't I? Maybe not entirely ruin. Let's see here. I'm going to use the J tool, whatever that J is, and I am going to erase this blank spot that I made, like so. Ah, it didn't work. Alright, well, let's skip that idea. That was a bad idea. Bad, Zach. Bad decision. Let's get back on our brush here. I want to make sure I'm accurately shading enoughably shading. In other languages, there's this word, like in Latvian. I happen to know Latvian, and it's translated would be ineffably, and it's something that we could probably use in this language. Yes, I know it's sufficient, but sufficient just sounds so robotic. So I don't like to use sufficient. Don't mind me and my language concerns. Alright, let's see if we can blend a little bit here. You know, it's funny, I did say I'm not big on playing video games anymore, but since Final Fantasy VII came out, remade, I did swear that I would get, I would buy whatever system it came out for, which I have not, and thankfully there's YouTube, and I could just watch through some gameplay, which is just as satisfying. But anyway, I got the music stuck in my head big time. It's amazing what nostalgic music does for the soul. No joke. It's awesome. Alright, let's work on some eye-related stuff. I'm going to do another layer here. Let's see. Practicing my hotkeys. Alright, let's do some eyes. Her eyes are most certainly a color, despite what you may think. Very cool color. I'm just gonna grab some white. Put that in here. You know, I realize this is not on multiply, which may be fine. Let me go with multiply. I want to see what happens when I make things multiply a little bit. Let's do multiply. What's this one? Normal. Ooh, oh dear. Normal, multiply. Let's do before and after. Before, after. Before, after. Before. Yeah, I gotta admit, I like it without multiply. That's that one, however, that shading layer looks pretty good on multiply. So I'm gonna leave that one there. So yeah, this is definitely a much more realistic looking version. Since the eyes and the clothing are so far apart, I'm gonna actually take that back. So I've mixed a couple things. I've added some shade where I might not should have, but I wanna pick up some things and make sure I am. See, that's on a multiply layer. Where is that non-multiply layer? Yes. Okay. All right. Well, let's throw in another one here. Right. Oh, that's a color, huh? I think I might have to make this one multiply. On our way. My friend just told me that I have permission to play that song from the Final Fantasy VII Remake soundtrack at his funeral. So, keeping you in mind there, buddy. It's nice to be in touch with old friends, especially when things like video game remakes can bring you together. Special time. Very special time. Alright, let's try to dig out some color and shapes and different things. Now, as you can tell, I'm not big on details, but I will try some new things every once in a while. There we go. There we go. It's looking good, right? Kinda. Let's grab a new brush. Let's do like a grass brush. Particle beard. No, we're not looking to make face stuff. We're looking for grass. Let's get some grass. Where did I see grass? Grass, fast grass. You know I like grass. Make it fast. Well, that's gonna ruin everything. How about this grass? Adding some texture. Why not? Hey, when you can, do it. Who cares? Who's watching you? Doesn't matter. Get in there. Do some texture. Alright, so not worrying about details, like I said. Let's see. It's funny, I've got this natural ombre. Oops. Natural ombre in the background there. Better change this before I break something. How about that one? Okay. But yeah, there's a natural ombre because I left in this background layer. It's kind of fun that, when I remove the sketch, details don't look too bad. I may see what that looks like here. Let's give it a whirl. I know, you guys probably think this is super boring, watching me go through this. But to me, it's not boring. Let's move this back to normal. Get our whites back. And let's go back in here and add some of that large pupil that we're always talking about. Thinking that kind of looks like something that may be shining. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Her lips look a little parched. That is only accurate. Poor Moana. Let's grab some mildly pink highlights. Let's do a whole layer for highlights, actually. Let's do, move it on up here. Actually, maybe we'll do a bit of a yellowy highlight. Yellow just never looks real, right? Let's do white. Let's stick with what we know. Let's move it to add or color dodge, maybe. So this will be our highlights layer. I decided, just right now. Just like that. Now, if she didn't look European enough, I definitely helped her. Alright, so that looks like Moana, right? Let's do some extra little work here, see if I can add something to the background that wasn't there already. And I'm going to hit the marquee tool, and see, I'm going to move it right about, let's see, here. I'm going to hit content aware. Let's see what happens. Anything good? You'll never know. Nope, nothing good. That's neat though. It's neat how they tried. They really tried. So I'm going to just skip out on this, and we're going to stop right there. I think I might add a little bit of a background if I can. This background layer, I'm going to load it by holding Control and oops, and touching it like that, and then I'm going to go like this. Then I'm going to go right click and select the inverse, and this is what I'm going to use to make a difference here. Let's see here. Let's go get some sky color. Alright, back to my paintbrush. So, Photoshop is cheating. What of it? Alright. Well, let's solo this one by holding Alt. Looks accurate. Okay. So everything I do to this one, I'm going to want it to be on a clipping mask. And I'm going to want some deeper, darker blues here. Let's make these waves crazy, right? Not as crazy in the background, but you know, a little bit wild. One's in the foreground, get a little bit more color. One's in the background, slightly less color. And make sure I go back and forth with some of these. I do want to try a brush. I don't know what kind of brush, but could be something as crazy as hair, right? That one's a little too nuts, but nothing wrong with this. Let's try making, I mean, texture is a good thing, no matter what, no matter where. I do want to make sure that the stuff in the foreground is more distinguishable than the stuff in the background. So when I make the light lines, I want them to be the ones in the background, right? Then I want to just let it blur away. But in the foreground, I could go big. I could do some serious damage with these things, and there would be nothing wrong with it. I am going to jump over to, in this one pack that I got, I think it's under Concept. I wonder, oh, Kyle's Concept Brushes. Check that one out. You can find some clouds. Let's do Soft 2. Those are fun clouds. Let's get some various color going in here. Let's change that color to be a little darker for the spots underneath. I know, boy, I'm feeling more and more like Bob Ross as the day goes by. Let's see. So all of these are fine. Like, it doesn't matter too much what you're doing. The background, what I'm going to do, anyway, you can do what you want to do. Didn't mean to make it sound like this is something that everyone should do. Or that you necessarily want to do. I don't really know you that well yet. I want to. I want you to comment below. I want you to subscribe, get to know each other here. Try new things, right? It's always nice to meet new people. But the idea is to do something with clouds that you're not even going to use all that much. So let's go like this. Actually, let's scoop around here and take this spot. We're going to go to Filter and Filter Gallery, Tilt Shift Blur. And we're going to see if we can increase the bokeh color let that pop up. We're gonna increase the amount of blur. Something fierce. And we're gonna call that okay. Which is fun. This is one of the scariest things I've ever experienced in my life. I have not saved this, and Photoshop, I swear, I mean, I don't swear at all. I try not to ever swear, but Photoshop crashes, and I am lucky that I did not crash while I had gone this far. So let's save that. Don't forget to save. And let's go on to something else here. I wanna try to do some more. Let's try something interesting here. I've never used this one. Cracks. That's exciting. Cracks. Let's make them small cracks. Let's make some big ones. We're gonna use this as our white part in the waves here. The surf? What do you call this? I don't know. She's surfing. She's doing something. And, you know, I noticed something. I noticed something in the background that is starting to kind of look like a greenish color. And I want something a little bit more in the background there. Let's say those weren't waves. Let's say those were in fact not waves. Let's say there was something else, huh? Let's say it was land. Land ho. I may have overdone it on the background there, but I don't think there's anything too wrong with it. Okay, let's stick with that one. And you know what? I'm realizing Moana does not have a full rope yet. So let's get on that for her. And we're going to jump down to concept. What's a good concept brush for this? Smoke wispy, smoke swirl, smoke stream. I don't think we need smoke. I need something. Yeah, let's just go to this Kyle's manga group. Let's give her more than one. She's pulling on 2 ropes. She's pulling pretty good. Ropes are fraying. What are you guys gonna do later today? It's kind of beautiful weather. First day of May. Happy May, everyone. But yeah, I'm leaning towards being done. What do you say? Are you done yet? I'm not done yet. Let's see if we can get a darker color in here. Yeah, that's going to be dark enough. You know, I'm not liking how that's turning out, so I'm going to resort to something else here. I really want to get the right brush that is going to do all the right things, soft, round, pressure size, and also I want another shade layer here. What is this? What's happening? Help me understand. Oh. Okay. Had them mixed up, that's all. That is just not doing it for me. I hate to not get this right. And I am not happy with how that is turning out. Let's see. Make sure. Oh, you know what? I was just saying I'd like to get out because it's such a nice weather day. And then it starts raining. Of course it starts raining. It always starts raining when I say that. So don't mind if you hear the rain in the background. That's just the sound of my tears that I can't go outside. At least go outside during quarantine. At least step foot outdoors. Okay, I did step foot outdoors today. Yes, there are some things still people can do outdoors. Let's give her a little bit more tone here. What do you say? Moana, Moana. Make way, make way. You didn't know you were going to get sung to today. You didn't know you were going to get songed by me. Boy, I'm really debating on whether or not I should even include any of this voiceover. Not terribly pleased with how that looks at a distance. It's just too bright outside in this shot for her to look like that. Let's do another layer, another color dodge layer with blue this time. Something light blue. Yeah. Maybe super blue. Maybe a little bit more towards the blue spectrum of blue. That's too blue. You don't want silly blue. You want normal blue. Man, blue really makes a difference. I'm really thrilled that I just happened upon this, actually. Make this definitively blue. Alright, so I feel like we're getting somewhere. Although, you know me and color dodge. I mean, if you don't know me and color dodge, hi, this is me and color dodge. Alright, so let's take a looky. Looks good. What stands out as the best? Alright, so it's starting to look like Moana. Let's go into the background because I noticed there was a fun color dodge layer opportunity here. I'm gonna hit this up and go here. All right. Alright. Just when I thought I was gonna give up, I refuse to give up. Let's add some go and do iris blur. for not sharp stuff. That's funny though. Let's see. I know I had more than one concept pack. I'm going to try to locate it here. Alright, so somewhere down here, I want to add some sort of boat. So I need some boat-like colors, and I need a boat-like brush. It's gonna be terrible. This is tough. This is not easy stuff. Let's just get a little crazy here. Okay, I'm going to call it good. Right there. That is Moana, everyone. One of my rare attempts to draw and paint from the same image. Thanks for watching.